area as well.
Thank you.
Very briefly, I think we have to push forward, as I think Barbara just pointed out, with our relationships both with commercial banks in the region and national development banks to make further progress in instilling the principles of climate change financing into their DNA, as has been said here before. And the other area where I think CAF has a future role to develop more intensely is again related to its urban development activities, especially as they regard the informal housing that develops in many Latin American cities, which are extremely vulnerable to climate change and which reflect a lot of the what we would call the exclusion, economic, social, and developmental exclusion in Latin America, with a view to precisely including these informal housings into the natural urban structure and thereby dealing with climate change and dealing with underdevelopment and exclusion that is highly concentrated in these territorial areas.
That's fantastic. We don't hear much about exclusion and the protection gap, so that's great. Peter.
Let me make 2 points on this one. I think when you talked about big numbers, of course I also like big numbers. I'm a banker, so it's good. But I think the huge opportunity and challenge we are facing is this mainstreaming of climate into everything. And I think we still have to learn in a great deal what that means, because we are not funding only solar power plants and windmills, but we're funding a lot of developmental things. And so I'm really keen to understand and learn with AFD on their 100% Paris compatibility, because that to me is kind of a catchy way of framing this challenge for us. And the other challenge I would like to put out, and connecting to what I said earlier, is that we as financial institutions are not the only actors, and we need our owners and the governments to work with us in the same direction and take some bold decisions which are required, because if we don't get the policy decisions right, like we did in Paris, but we still need to get next year in Poland, then for us the field of actually financing something will still be limited. So going beyond 410 billion requires that somebody else is also brave.
Exactly. Jacques?
I won't speak about numbers, but I think the next step is very ambitious, is to foster the cultural change within our organization. We just launched a program, an action plan, with a view to better promoting CSR culture within the bank, and in particular, obviously, regarding all environmental and climate-related aspects. So it means we will implement a mix of formal and informal initiatives. For example, we will distribute a toolkit explaining all our climate-related strategy and policies. We will organize meetings, internal presentation regarding our objectives and climate objectives. I will, in a few weeks, I will make a presentation on our achievements, for example, in Asia. And third, we will organize as well a roundtable in a coffee regarding how people on a day-to-day basis can adapt and change their own behavior. All in all, the key message is, as always, in case of a cultural change, the involvement of general management is key in this kind of initiative.
Excellent. Well, we're running out of time, but you all join me in a round of applause for our panelists. And can I invite the next panelist to the stage, please?